You found Bottom Tier Collector. I'm your host, BTC. And today I'm giving you 90s keys.
Boo! You suck!
Alright guys, welcome back. 22 Comics did the challenge, that's the word. He did a challenge about a month ago. And I meant to do this a lot sooner. I even commented and you messed up. I'm fixing to get right on this video. And then, I mean, you guys know what's been going on. You know, you longtime followers of the channel. Just been chaos. So haven't had the mental capacity to get into it. But now that things are where they are for me, I got time. And I want to post something today. Don't have quite enough time to do a Wolverine review today, so I'll knock out a community challenge. And community challenges are really probably my favorite content to do because they're real easy, but they also give me a chance to be social and interact with people, see what other people are doing, and see what the originator of the challenge is doing. So I believe it's the top 10 90s keys in your collection is the challenge per 22 Comics. And I didn't do the most valuable, although the most valuable 90s key might be in the stack. That just wasn't my mindset. I really was just doing the top 10 most important 90s keys to me. So first up, we got Doom Patrol 35, and I've talked a lot about this issue, especially recently. I just love Flex Mentallo. Go watch Doom Patrol. You'll know exactly why I love Flex Mentallo. Great character, unique power set, and that's all I'm really going to say here. Going to keep it moving. Next up, we got Demon Annual 2, first appearance of Tommy Monaghan or Hitman. I have to say, I'm diving through the Hitman trades. I announced that recently, but I'm so enamored with the story. I'm so immersed in the story. I can confidently say, if I had discovered Hitman first, or if Lobo didn't exist, Hitman would be my favorite character in all of comic books. I just really love this character. I know what happens at the end of the Hitman series, and it's going to tear my heart. I'm going to cry, but that's okay. That's just a testament to Garth Ennis' great writing. And this is a fantastic issue. This includes the origin of Hitman and his power set. Not necessarily his backstory, like his childhood and stuff, but this kind of details how he got his... he has like supernatural eyesight, and then he has the power to read minds. And that's all included in this issue. Let's turn that this way. Next up, we got Justice League Europe 33. If I remember to link the information I want to put in these videos, I will put it in the description. I'm not the best at remembering that stuff. But Justice League Europe 33, it's not because of Lobo, honestly. It's because it's the first appearance of Sonic the Hedgehog. And I have a video that I've already made talking about this first appearance. And I showed you guys where my insert was. And it was nice to crack this book open and look for the insert. Because now that it's known that this is technically the first appearance of Sonic the Hedgehog, people are looking for it. And your Justice League Europe 33 might not have the insert in it. Also, I'd like to add that the insert in here is a preview of the very first Sonic the Hedgehog full comic book. So, you know, if you're not looking for previews, if you're more of a purist like I am, I do want the comic book that this is a preview of one day in the collection. You know, look for that comic book as well. I think it's just Sonic the Hedgehog #1. You just got to remember the date, the release date, to get the correct one. Next up, we got Jim Lee Wildcats #1, and it's always irked me that #2 is the holofoil issue. #1 is the plain Jane cover. I don't even know all the members of the Wildcats. It's first appearance of all the Wildcats. The New 52 brought in Jim Lee's Wildcats creation when he left Image Comics to join forces with DC Comics. And so this is all canon in the DC universe now. But Griffin is what I care about, why I own this issue. Griffin's not doing a whole lot lately, although there was a Wildcats miniseries that just happened, I think, this past year or maybe in 2022. And so it was nice to see Griffin again in his own series. But yeah, first appearance of the Wildcats. Next up, we got Batman Sword of Azrael, book #1. This is the first appearance of Azrael, and I've talked about this book before. First time I ever met Kevin Nolan, didn't have this book with me, but the next time I finally got him to sign this book. Great to have his signature on that. I sold the other issues as a 4-part series. I might collect them again, I might not, I don't know. I like Azrael. He's my favorite member of the Bat family. Essentially the only thing I care about in the Bat family. I like some iterations of Dick Grayson. I think sometimes Dick Grayson is a turnoff to me. And then I used to like Red Hood, but I'm just turned off that he just perpetually stuck as a character. He hasn't been developed a whole lot. And so he's a little bit of a turnoff. But yeah, first appearance of Azrael. Next up, we got X-Force #8. And most of you Domino fans, most of you Deadpool fans already know New Mutants '98 is the first appearance of some character posing as Domino. This is the first appearance of the actual Domino. She's not a Skrull. There's not some shapeshifter posing at her. That is the real Domino in canon. So I don't know if this book will ever take off, because of Domino, but she's becoming one of my favorite Marvel characters. I really liked her in Deadpool 2. Hoping to see her again in Deadpool 3. And glad to have that book in the collection. Maybe one day I'll get a New Mutants '98. And I can have all the big boy or big girl Domino books. Now this next one's a pretty obvious one, but you longtime followers of me, I cannot do a top 10 90s keys in my collection without posing this book. Lobo #1. First solo ongoing and origin of the main man. Although he had his original origin, I forget the issue, but it was in Omega Man. And then the origin we know today was fleshed out here. It sort of gets retold not very long after this issue. Kind of rehashed, remastered, whatever, in the 0-hour issue. Flip these around. So we're not party fouling all over the place. And, yeah, I mean, what can I say about it? It's one of the greatest covers of all time. It's the beginning of the jumping on point for the character. Anybody interested in Lobo should start with this issue and read the 4-part series. And glad that I bought it and put it in my PC years before anybody cared anything about Jason Momoa or the MCU or the DCU or speculation or any of that stuff. Next up, probably the most valuable key in my collection. I'm not sure. I haven't done a comparison between this and the final book I'll show. But we got The Amazing Spider-Man 361. First full appearance of Carnage. I actually have 360. Party fouling all over the place. I'll be right back just a second. Alright, so first appearance, full appearance of Carnage. I blame the PlayStation 1 game. That was a really good Spider-Man game. That got me into Carnage. And that would follow me into discovering the hobby years later, possibly a decade later, and fostering that love of Carnage. As of right now, I'm kind of out of love with Carnage. You know, if Little Man one day decides he wants to get into comic books, he's really into Spider-Man, I might consider jumping off his collection by giving him my 361. It's just I like Carnage, like the concept, what he can do, his moveset, but for some reason, especially lately, the stories are just with Carnage. I tried Carnage. I believe it was volume 2. I got like 3 issues in and was like, I read all of Extreme Carnage, and I hated Extreme Carnage. I effing hated Extreme Carnage. That was a terrible, boring, painful comic book. Oh my gosh. It was so stupid. I don't like this God power set symbiote stuff. It's just too over the top, and I think something Marvel needs right now, which is why I think DC holds on to Batman so much. Marvel needs to come back down to the ground a little bit. Quit going so over the top. I know it's comics, but Marvel right now just seems to be going over the freaking top with stuff. And I think you need your occasional grounded story, and I think the symbiotes are good for that. They're just street symbiotes that, you know, they just go around murdering, killing, that sort of thing. This whole like King of the Symbiotes and the Hive Mind, it just, I understand King of Black took off and made Marvel a lot of money, successful. My buddy that's a huge Venom fan loves King of Black, loves Null, and I get all that, but I don't know. In my opinion, I just like a grounded Carnage, grounded symbiotes, and that's what I'd rather read. So I'm just really out of love with Carnage right now, and I don't have to have Carnage in my collection anymore. The last good story I read of Carnage was Superior Carnage. That was in like, what, 2015? So, you know, not worried about it. Alright, last but not least, we got Marvel Comics Presents 72. That's right, partial origin of Wolverine. I will never call this the origin of Wolverine. In my humble opinion, there's never going to be a single issue that is the origin of Wolverine. I mean, you got 2 volumes. I want to say it's well over 60 issues dedicated to Wolverine's backstory. That whole run could be called Wolverine's Origin. It's literally called Origins. You've got this, and then you've got an X-Men, and then the Wolverine ongoings. Just, it seems like there's so many issues where we're going into Wolverine's past and learning more about Wolverine. He's such a mysterious character. I still don't know to this day if we know everything there is to know about Wolverine and his past. So it's just kind of funny branding this as the origin of Wolverine when that's further from the truth. But I get it. At this time when it was made, we didn't have the Origins series. We didn't have all these exploratory single issues where we're diving into the mind of the animal. You know, this was really the only issue at the time that kind of explained the backstory of Wolverine, how he gets his adamantium, the Weapon X stuff. So I get it, but at the same time, it's just funny how, you know, because we've expanded Wolverine, we've grown him so much as a character that it's just kind of funny now to label this the origin of Wolverine. But that is my top 10 90s keys. I don't know if there's too many surprises in here. There's a lot of familiar books. You know, you longtime followers have probably seen a lot of these books before. Well, the 90s is my favorite era of comic books. So when 22 Comics issued that challenge, I had to answer the call and do my top 10 90s keys. I'm going to leave the challenge open just like 22 Comics did. If you'd like to do top 10 90s comics in your PC, tag me. I'd like to see your video. Tag 22 Comics so he knows you've done the video. And thank you as always for liking, subscribing, commenting. And as always, until next time.